Hunzinger sets it up to Beeson. Bringing the hammer. Oh, heck yes. With the screen, Emily Luce. Now the right corner, Megan Luce for three. Tickles the twine. Yes. Right there at the left side elbow, cross-court pass. Bell's right corner three is up. And good. Camden Bell from downtown. And fly ball there in the left field. The left fielder will miss the ball. Camden Gibson at third base. And that's going to be a high fly ball there in the deep left center field and down near the wall. So Estep there with an RBI double. Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com and the IHSAA Champions Network here from beautiful Brian J. Dudley Field here in Selma, Indiana, here with opening night 2025 as we welcome in the 0-1 Greenfield-Central Cougars as they will be taking on the 0-0 Wapahani Raiders here this evening. Again, as always, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Appreciate you all for tuning in and spending your Monday evening here with us as we get this 2025 campaign underway here tonight. As we'll get right into things here with our Raiders Live pregame show presented by Alfred Rods and Customs, again a proud sponsor of the WHS Network. Wapahani, you come here into a brand new season, brand new opportunities, also brand new challenges, and high expectations, I think, for this team. This is really a team that a year ago, had some struggles, but also had a lot of really good times as well, and up finishing up the year at 12-16. So obviously not accustomed to going below 500, but again, things happen, and unfortunately it worked out that way. But like I mentioned, this is a brand new season. A lot of guys coming back from last year's team. Some key pieces graduated from last year, but again, you get to a new year and guys are asked to do different things. Guys are asked of new roles on the team, frankly are expected to perform at a very high level in order to get where you want to get to. And these guys have got to make sure and fulfill those roles. Nothing's ever, always going to necessarily be perfect, but at the end of the day, you've got to put your best foot forward every single time out there. And, these guys I know are eager to get this season underway, in which already a couple of rainouts to begin the 2025 season. We were supposed to play on Friday at Richmond. That game obviously got canceled because of all the lovely weather we've had here in Raider country and pretty much all over the whole entire state of Indiana and surrounding states as well. So it's not just us. It's pretty much been about everywhere with the rain situation going on. But again, the Friday night game at Richmond was canceled. Then Saturday we were supposed to play a doubleheader out at Ball State University, in which the Raiders were supposed to take on Eastbrook and Muncie Central. Obviously, those games got canceled. Not sure if any of those games whatsoever, the Richmond game or the two games from Saturday, I don't know if those will ever get rescheduled or not. But still, nonetheless, it's great to be back and in a broadcast some Raider baseball for all you fine folks out there in Raider country. Again, the softball team also in action as well this evening, taking on the Northeastern Lady Knights here tonight. Again, that game was supposed to start at 5:30. This baseball game also was supposed to start at 5:30, and obviously we're going to get to a little bit of a late start. Greenfield-Central got here a little bit late, but we're eager to get this party started here this evening, and we hope you guys are as well, so make sure to stay tuned in right here with us. Again, coming back here from the commercial break, we'll finish up here with a Raiders Live pregame show presented by Alfred Rods and Customs. You're on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here on a Raiders Live pregame show presented by Alfred Rods and Customs. Again, a proud sponsor of the WHS Network here as we wrap up our pregame show here this evening. Again, here from beautiful Brian J. Dudley Field. Again, as I mentioned earlier, 12-16 was Wapahani last year. Brand new year, brand new opportunities, brand new challenges, but again, high expectations here for this 2025 baseball team. Again, a great group of guys that, again, you're going to have to see, guys really step up and step into new roles, and they're going to be asked to do some different things that, maybe in the last year or previous years they might not have been asked of doing. But I'm sure that these guys are more than capable of doing that and continuing on the long legacy of winning baseball here for this Wapahani Raider baseball program. Again, you're in the second year of head coach Heath Dudley. Again, tonight and every night, you got to play fundamentally sound baseball. In the field, at the plate, base running, pitching. There's so many facets of the game and so many things that can go correctly and go good, and also things that can go bad. But you want to minimize that as much as possible. But defensively, you can't afford to give away outs. You've got to make the routine plays. Fielding the baseball, making sure we're making good throws, hitting the cutoff man when need be. From a hitting standpoint, you want to shrink the strike zone as much as you can. Make sure that we're not swinging completely at bad pitches all the time. It's going to happen from time to time. We're all human; it happens, but you want to minimize that again as much as possible. You want the pitcher feeding right into your hands. And then, like I said there, with the base running, we got some guys that can steal some bases. We're quick, but along with that, you've got to be smart, and you can't afford to run into outs. And so we're eager to see what these guys can do this year. Like I said, I think it's a very, very promising group. With some veteran leadership that's coming back from last year and the previous years, that I think can really add a nice spin to things and really give this team and what will hopefully be a championship-winning season with lots of victories, like I said, a lot of championships, and we'll have it all coming at you live right here on the WHS Network all season long. So sit back, relax, enjoy some Raider baseball coming up. Again, it's Wapahani and Greenfield-Central here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, again, welcome back here on the WHS Network. Is just about set here for tonight's starting lineups. Again, here from beautiful Brian J. Dudley Field here in Selma, Indiana. Again, the 0-1 Greenfield-Central Cougars taking on your 0-0 Wapahani Raiders. And we'll go ahead and take a look here at tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting team here this evening, the Greenfield-Central Cougars. So first and foremost, again, Greenfield-Central coming into the night, like I mentioned, 0-1. Lost last Tuesday to LaPel, 5-4 there, and that one has put them at this 0-1 record. So again, the starting lineup here for the Greenfield-Central Cougars, again presented by Taylor Architects, Inc., look like this. Leading off, playing center field, number 9, Dylan Luther. Batting second, the second baseman, number 4, Brady Johnson. Batting third, catching, number 2, Zaner Cobb. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 17, Hayden Zellers. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 27, Hayden Kidd. He will be hitting for the pitcher, number 33, Walker Miller. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 25, Ethan Ortwing. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 14, Gavin Marcus. Batting eighth and playing first base, number 32, Cooper Safford. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 15, Jacob Welch. So again, that is the Greenfield-Central Cougars. Again, by the head coach is Mitch Gibson, assisted by Taylor Gibson. And now we'll take a look here at the starting lineup here for your Wapahani Raiders. Again, presented by Taylor Architects, Inc. The starting lineup here for your Raiders will look like this. Leading off and playing shortstop, that is number 7, Nate Luce. Batting second, the second baseman, number 4, Hayden James. Batting third and catching, number 5, Quentin James. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 15, Clay Eastep. Batting fifth and pitching, number 10, Kason Purdue. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 3, Brock Zitgraff. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 11, Brant Longfellow. And batting ninth and playing right field, number 8, Grayson Acosta. Again, your Raiders, again, coached by Heath Dudley in his second season at the helm. And again, the Raiders are assisted by Brian Dudley as well as Josh Shatto, Gary Lipscomb, and Caleb Henderson, and Landon Weller. So again, that is tonight's Taylor Architects, Inc. starting lineup. Again, make sure to stay right here with us. We have tonight's national anthem, as well as tonight's first pitch coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
The Raiders are coached by Heath Dudley.
All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network as we are just about set here for opening night 2025. Again, here from beautiful Brian J. Dudley Field. Again, just a quick reminder right here. Again, our umpires here this evening behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes is Mr. Scott Linton. Out in the field is our umpire Tanner Hoots. So again, that is our umpires here for this evening's ball game. Next here for the East Jackson Auto Sales starting, defensive alignment here for Wapahani. Out in left field, Eli Andrews. And centers, Brock Zitgraff. And right, Grayson Acosta. Around the horn here in the infield is Brant Longfield at third base, Nate Luce at shortstop, Hayden James at second, Clay Stepp at first. And then your battery mates right here, Cason Purdue towing the rubber here tonight with Quentin James hanging the signs behind home plates. So again, that is our East Jackson Auto Sales starting defensive alignment here this evening as we'll get tonight's game officially underway. 0-1 the count here at 5:56 p.m. here on this Monday, April the 7th of 2025. As that pitch will be fouled back and out of play. So quickly, 0-2 the count here on the leadoff man, Dylan Luther. Again, Purdue, a sophomore pitcher here for the Raiders, had a very, very nice freshman year and really expecting him to do some great things this year. Really nice, what I think will be a really nice pitching staff here for the Raiders this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how things really shake out as that pitch inside now for 2-ball, 2-strike count. Again, following Luther, we'll have the second baseman, Brady Johnson, and then the catcher, number 2, Xander Cobb. Again, first three due up here for the Cougars this evening. The 2-2 offering from Purdue. And that's going to be called strike 3. Pull the chainsaw as Luther will go down looking for the first out of the inning.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 4, Brady Johnson.
So with one out, that's going to bring up the second baseman, number 4, Brady Johnson. Johnson will step in here with, again, nobody on and one out to open up tonight's ball game. Purdue with a wind up the pitch. That's going to fall low and away for ball 1. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Greenfield-Central already a game into the 2025 season. They took on LaPel last Tuesday evening, in which the Bulldogs beat the Cougars. Man, that was a very close pitch on the outside corner, so 2-0 the count here on Johnson. But Greenfield-Central fell defeat to the Bulldogs. 5-4 was the final score there in that one. Again, the biggest thing there for the Cougars there on that night was 3 errors. They gave up 5 runs, but only one of those runs were earned. So a tough loss there to open up the season there for Greenfield-Central, but looking to bounce back. But the Raiders are looking to have a little bit of a say in that. The pitch from Purdue in there for a called strike. Now 3-1 to begin things here on Brady Johnson. The windup, 3-1 offering. Ground ball here to the second base side. Hayden James will collect. Throw on the first, and quickly 2 up, 2 down to begin the top of the first inning. Again, a 4-3 put away there for the second out of the inning. And so now that will bring up the catcher, number 2, Xander Cobb. Again, steps in here. Again, had a hit his first time, or his first game there against LaPel. I believe he was 1 for 4 there in that one, batting average .250. Hayden Zeller's definitely a name you got to look out for. Had a couple hits there in the first game, an RBI. So again, 1-0 the count. And James right there to make the catch there in the outfield. So 3 up, 3 down go the Cougars here in the top half of the first inning. The Raiders heading back to the plate here for the very first time this 2025 season. Stay right here with us. That will be coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. Happy to have all you out here from Brian J. Dudley Field here on the WHS Network. Again, Wapahani closed down the Cougars there in the top half of the first inning and looking to get the bats started here this evening. And we're going to start things off here with the shortstop, the leadoff man, number 7, Nate Luce. Again, coming off of a great basketball season. Just a couple weeks ago, and right back at it now on the baseball field, looking to bring some thunder here to the Raider top of the lineup right here, as that pitch will be up and out of the zone. So quickly, 1-0 the count here on Nate Luce. Again, Walker Miller is towing the rubber here for Greenfield-Central this evening. Again, Xander Cobb behind the plate, hanging the sign. So quickly, 2-0 the count here on the shortstop, Nate Luce. Following him, Hayden James, and then Quentin James. 2-0 pitch falls outside for ball 3. So a very favorable count to start off this 2025 season here for Luce. The wind-up, the pitch, in there for a called strike. So the count stands at 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, Heath Dudley, your coach down there, down the third base line. Here's the pitch. And in there for a called strike, too. I believe Caleb Henderson is the first base coach here for the Raiders. So full count here on Nate Luce. Miller will get his signs here from Cobb. The wind up, the payoff pitch, and they say that Luce offered, and he will get him out right there via the strikeout for the opening out of the inning.
The second baseman, number 4, Hayden James.
So 1 up, 1 down. Down goes Nate Luce, and the second baseman, number 4, Hayden James, will step up to the plate. Looking to put some traffic on the base pass here this evening for the Raiders. Miller takes a long look in there. The offering upstairs there for ball 1. So again, already the first 2 batters in right here. He's gotten behind both of them to begin the at-bat. Again, Miller was behind 3-0 and came all the way back. As that pitch right there will catch the inside corner there for a called strike. So an even count here of 1-1. Miller, the windup. Here's the pitch. Low and inside for ball 2. Again, the Raiders with a good majority of the starting lineup back on this year's team, which is nice. Obviously some familiar faces, but again, guys asked to do and perform different roles for this year's team that maybe they might not have been asked to do last year. So the 3-1 here to James, and in there for a called strike. And so again here, you got to be ready to swing the bat. It's early, first game jitters, first at bat jitters. But let's see here if Hayden James can find his way aboard. The payoff pitch. And that's going to be a high fly ball there. And then the deep left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. James will make his way on to second base. And how about that, Hayden James? A one-out double to get the Raiders their first hit and first base runner of the 2025 season.
Now batting, the catcher, number 5, Quentin James.
So now the catcher, number 5, Quentin James, will step in as the Raiders look to draw blood first here this evening. Again, following Quentin, we'll have Clay Estep and then Case and Purdue if we get that far. But again, James at second. One away here in the bottom half of first. Miller will come to the set. Again, glances back at second base. Here's the offering. And that's going to be skied back and out of play, 0-1. Again, James, a returning starter from last year's team. Can also bring some thunder here in this 3-hole spot. And time has been called. And he got it literally in the nick of time as Miller was just about to rifle that pitch on in there. So again, 0-1 the count here on Quentin James. Hayden James at second. Middle infield keeping him close. The pitch for Miller. Be a ground ball here the second base side. Tossed on to first. 4-3 put away there for out number 2. But it does advance Hayden James on to third. So again, a wild pitch right here can possibly score him.
15, Clay Estep.
So again, 4-3 is the official scoring line right there for out number 2. And that's going to bring up the Raiders' first baseman, number 15, Clay Estep. Again, here in his senior season, looking to get the Raiders on the board here early. The pitch from Miller, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count here on Estep. Getting Clay playing a little bit more of a newer position this year, playing first base, at least in his first game anyway. Obviously pitches, so we'll see if he moves around a little bit more. If it's going to be more on the pitcher's mound and at first base, we'll see how things go throughout the season. The pitch, skied up here in foul territory. Now it comes back into fair territory as the catcher will make the play and for the third and final out of the inning. But the Raiders, well, we get a base runner. As the one-out double there from Hayden James put the Raiders with a man in scoring position, but unfortunately nothing will come of it here in the bottom half of the first inning. So after one inning, we are scoreless here from beautiful Brian J. Dudley Field. Stay right here with us. Your second inning coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All right, welcome back here, folks. Top of the second inning. Again, here from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field on it's really a pretty beautiful evening, other than it is chilly, but it's better than what the alternative has been the last, seemingly last week. We have seen nothing but rain, more rain, and then some more rain after that. So we're happy to be back out here in the broadcast. Some Raider baseball here for all you fine folks out there, as it's going to be quickly 0-1. Here on the cleanup hitter here for the Cougars, the right fielder, number 17, Hayden Zellers. Again, just a reminder, again, the Lady Raider softball team in action here as well this evening. As soon as we get score updates on that game with them and Northeastern, then we'll relay that information to all you fine folks out there in Raider country. So quickly, 1-2 the count here on Zellers. Purdue looking to make quick work right here. Let's see if we can get him the pitch. That's going to be upstairs there for ball 2. The wind-up pitch, low and away for ball 3. So a full count. It's the second batter of the ball game. It's worked it to full here on Purdue. Here's the wind-up payoff pitch, and that's going to be laced right back up the middle in the center field. And that will be the first hit of the night here for Greenfield-Central as they have a man on.
The designated hitter, number 27, Hayden Kidd.
So now the designated hitter, number 27, Hayden Kidd, will step in. And Kidd was 1 for 1 last Tuesday evening, had a couple of RBIs. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss inside there for ball 1. Again, as a team, they're hitting .259 on the season. Again, that's only an extremely small sample size there with only one game. They were 7-27. Again, scored 4 runs, had 3 RBIs. They did work 6 walks. That's going to be popped up here on the first base side. E-step will not make the catch. So now the count will be a ball and a strike here on Hayden Kidd. But as I was mentioning there, the Cougars did work 6 walks in that game against LaPel last Tuesday night, but they did strike out 9 times. So Purdue again getting the signs here from Quentin James. He will come to the set. And the 1-1 offering will be shot down the left field line, foul. So the count now stands at 1 ball and 2 strikes here on the number 5 hitter in the order, designated hitter Hayden Kidd. Following him, we'll have the third baseman, number 25, Ethan Ortween. 1-2 pitch outside, and James just kind of completely whiffed on that ball. I'm not quite sure if he didn't see it or what happened there, but could have even been expecting another pitch, instead got something else. But nonetheless, that's going to be a wild pitch. The runner advances on the second base. And so Zeller's now down at second. Count here at 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. The pitch. It's going to be fouled back and out of place. We're going to redo it again. Deuce is wild here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Purdue again comes to the set and the pitch. And he will get him fishing right there as James will tag him out. So a big-time strikeout there for Case and Purdue. As Kidd will go down swinging for out number 1 here in the inning. That's going to bring up the third baseman, number 25, Ethan Ortwine. The number 6 hitter in the order for the Cougars. And infielders there with Luce and James keeping the runner close. Popped up, first base side, and that's going to head out of play. So 0-1 quickly here on Ortwine. Again, James hanging the signs. Purdue will come to the set. And he will deliver the 0-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. So great position to be in right here if you're Case. And again, yes, you want to attack the strike zone, but now you want to look to expand that strike zone a little bit more and see if you can get him to go fishing right here for something. And that pitch fouled off. Again, the base runner, Zellers, had a good jump. So had he not swung at that, I would more than likely say he was going to be coasting in there to third base rather easily. So again, the count remains here at 0-2. Again, 1 on, 1 out here atop the second. Again, got a little bit of a late start here this evening. This was supposed to be original 5:30 start time. Instead, it was like right around 5:54, something like that. And he will get Ort Wine fishing right there. Great job there by Purdue. Again, going outside the zone the last 2 batters to get the strikeout.
Number 14, Gavin Marcus.
So 2 down now in the inning, still runner at second base. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, number 14, Gavin Marcus. Again, already 3 strikeouts here through the first 6 batters here for Purdue. And he will walk the runner back to second base. So Marcus will step back in there. Purdue will come to the set. And the delivery to home plate, ground ball here to the third baseman. Longfellow will collect, throw on the first. Nicely done right there by Brant Longfellow, and that's going to do it here for the visiting half of the second inning as Greenfield-Central again gets a leadoff base runner there on the single there from Zellers, but nothing will come of it after the 5-3 put away there for out number 3. Down go the Cougars. Again, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We will head here to the bottom half of the second. Again, scoreless here from Brian J. Dudley Field.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
The moments we live for, we celebrate, we must protect. This is what the IHSAA Foundation does every day. By providing scholarships to student athletes, developing coaches and athletic directors, recruiting and retaining high school officials, and awarding grants to IHSAA member schools, we can protect the future of high school sports for the next generation of Hoosiers. Will you join us? We need your help on our team. Donate today at ihsaafoundation.org.
All right, folks, welcome back here at the bottom half of the second inning. Again, here, a beautiful day at the ballpark. The sun starting to come out here a little bit in different times. But 1-0 the count to start things off here with the pitcher number 5, Kaysen Purdue, looking to help his own cause right here, as that pitch will sail high and outside for ball 2. So again, the Raiders will have 5, 6, and 7 hitters. The middle of the order due up here in the home half of the second inning. The 2-0, that's going to miss outside for ball 3. So again, a great position to be in right here if you're Purdue. I would highly doubt that they'll have him or give him the green light right here, but you know, if he does throw a strike, then you know, really got to really get locked in and stay focused. But instead, it's going to be a 4-pitch walk here to the number 5 hitter, Kaysen Purdue. So he will make his way on down to first, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, number 3, Brock Zitgraff, to the plate. But first we'll have a mound meeting here for Greenfield-Central. So while we got some time, might as well go ahead and send out a big thanks to some of our sponsors here this evening. A big thanks here to Sam Pierce Chevrolet, located at 12401 West County Road 550 South in Daleville, Indiana. Sam Pierce is your trusted Chevrolet dealership and the reason why loyal customers keep coming back. So make sure to give them a call at 765-387-4287 and go to sampierchevy.com to find your next vehicle. Again, that is Sam Pierce Chevrolet. The best deals are in the country. So Zitgraf will snap in here for his first plate appearance of the senior campaign. You got a man on down there with Case and Purdue. Again, we do have a courtesy runner down at first, and that is Noah Henderson. So, again, he is down at first base right now.
Now running for Wapahani, number 12, Noah Henderson.
The pitch by Miller. That's going to miss low for a ball. So now an even count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, following Zitgraf, we'll have Eli Andrews coming out of the woodwork here, playing this season. He hasn't played first 2 years of high school, and so it's nice to see him back out on the baseball field. I'm not sure if that was that a ball or a strike right there? Okay, so 1-2 the count. All right, so Zitgraf will look to step back in. Miller back on the rubber. Again, Henderson down at first base. Still nobody out. And Miller will step off. So again, some mind games right here. And right here, if you're Zitgraf, might not be a terrible idea to call time as well. Here's the pitch. And said he will get him swinging for strike 3 for out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting the left fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews.
So with 1 down, that's going to bring up the left fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews. So again, it looks like he does everything right, but instead he will bat left. We'll see what this young man can do. Obviously, we know we can do out there on the basketball court. The pitch, that's going to be in there for a called strike. Nothing and 1 the count here on Eli. Following him, Brant Longfellow, then Grayson Acosta. So again, Andrews, the number 7 hitter in the order. Pick off at first. Henderson's back in there easily. Already getting those new unis a little dirty out there, looking sharp. The red jerseys there with the white lettering outlined in black. The 0-1 pitch. That's going to miss low and inside there for ball 1. Get a third baseman playing about even with the bag, about a step off the infield grass. The first baseman holding on Henderson at first. The pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. So now an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So again, here for your Andrews, anything close, got to shorten up, put the bat to the baseball. Find a way to put it out there somewhere. Again, that one dribbled foul. Thanks. Again, the leadoff walk there to Case and Purdue. Then the courtesy runner there with Noah Henderson down at first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Gets him swinging for strike 3. Throw down to first will not be in time. So 2 down here in the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts of your 6 and 7 hitter. And that's going to bring up third baseman number 11, Brant Longfellow. Looking to cash in on a great opportunity right here. Again, Henderson with some pretty good wheels out there at first base. You hit the ball into the gap. Got a darn good chance of scoring. So that pitch looked to have been a little bit up. Instead will be called a strike. So 0-1 the count here on Longfellow. Miller comes to the set. And the pitch. A little dribbler to the first base side. Pitcher will collect, throw down to first, and that's going to do it here with the home half of the second inning. So the Raiders, again, got a leadoff base runner. Nothing will unfortunately come of it, as the Raiders will go quietly here in the bottom half of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left. Top the third we go from Coach Brian J. Dudley Field. Scoreless here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
A licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
All right, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, with the top half of the third inning. Did want to give you all a softball update again. At the end of one, it was 1-0 Northeastern. Unfortunately, things have really went south from there, and Northeastern is now up 12-0 at the end of 2 innings over at the softball field. So the Raiders in a little bit of a bind so far to open up the 2025 season, but still got some innings to go right there, so hopefully Wapahani can find their way back in it. So 0-1, that's in there for a called strike. Now 0-2 here on the first baseman, Cooper Safford. All right, so Safford steps back in. Great pitcher's count right here. The 0-2 from Purdue. Oh, yeah. Tied him up right there, and you can't really okay. I guess you can't really check the swing right there because the first base umpire is getting blocked by the left-handed hitter. So 1-2 the count here on Safford, the pitch. That's going to miss low for ball 2. The 2-2 chopped there foul behind the backstop area. So an even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jacob Welch due up after him. Then atop the order with Dylan Luther. Fouled off there to the first base side. So again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Purdue will get the signs here from Quentin James. The rock back, the pitch. That's going to miss just outside. But really, in all honesty, that's excellent location there for Kaysen. I mean, you don't want to put the ball right on the plate, but you want to make it satisfying just enough to where, he might want to take a good hearty swing at it. That pitch foul. Oh my. Okay, so tough break right there for the Raiders. Again, the ball hit there on the foul side of the right field line, but again called fair, so we're going to roll with it right here. A leadoff double here for Safford. All right, so again, 1 on, nobody out to begin the top half of the third inning. And Jacob Welch now at the plate here for Greenfield-Central. So 1-0 the count to begin things. Again, second hit allowed here this evening for Purdue. Again, he slammed the door shut last inning and looking to do the same right here as Purdue will step off the rubber. You know, first baseman Clay Estep playing in on the infield grass. Third baseman Brant Longfellow playing even with the bag at third base. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss inside. And it missed. Okay, yeah, I didn't think that ball hit him at all, but the hitter went ahead and took everything off, acting like it did. So nonetheless, 2-0 the count. So again here, 2-0 the count. The pitch from Purdue. That's upstairs for ball 3. So now just got to work your way all the way back right here. Can't do it all in one pitch, but got to chip away here at the count. So again, 3-0. Again, a man out there at second base there after the leadoff double from Safford. Purdue glances back at second base and will deliver to home plate. In there for a called strike. Again, following Welch, again, he's the number 9 hitter. Be right back to the top of the order there with Dylan Luther, then potentially Brady Johnson if we get that far. The 3-1 pitch will miss low and inside for ball 4. So a walk here to Welch. Again, 8 and 9 hitters. Gave Purdue a little bit of trouble right here. So again, some late lineup magic here for Greenfield-Central. And now at the top of the order here with the center fielder number 9, Dylan Luther at the plate. The pitch, again, showed bunt, got the bat back. As again, the pitch was low there for ball 1. So again, Estep down at first base playing in on the infield grass. Again, Longfellow still playing even with the bag at third base. Shortstop Nate Luce covering out there at second. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 2. And another one that's going to miss upstairs. So 3-0 the count. Getting back-to-back batters. I've got to that 3-0 count right here. So again, just got to find a way to pitch to contact right here. You've got to find a way to get outs. So obviously the last thing you want to do is to load the bases right here. So really got to get locked in, get focused, and that will miss the corner. And so that's going to load them up. So we will have a mound visit here, and we will step aside here for a quick timeout. Again, bases are loaded here for Greenfield-Central here in the top half of the third. We'll be back right after these messages.
2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. You have 2 choices. Option 1, take 2 nanoseconds to reach over and put on your seatbelt. Or option 2, decide it's too much work for a Saturday and don't put on your seatbelt. As the seatbelt alarm continues to sing the song of its people, you roll your eyes. You're just going down the block, you'll be fine. You take a turn to the left, and that's when you see it.
Just wear your seatbelt. It's an easy way to save your own life. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute wants to remind you that choices matter. Click it to live it.
All right, so again, the mound visit over with. Purdue, and a little bit of a jam right here. Again, the bases loaded. Nobody out here in the top half of the third. We've got the second baseman, number 4, Brady Johnson, stepping in at home plate for Greenfield-Central. The pitch from Purdue, and that's going to be in the right center field. Zitgraff will not get there. 1 run scores. Safford, and now on his heels right there is Welch as he will score. So that will be a 2 RBI double for one Brady Johnson. So how things can quickly change right here. Again, Purdue was cruising through the first 2 innings. And unfortunately, a couple of bad walks. Got a double. And now another double that ends up plating 2. As the Raiders, again, trying to limit the damage right here, though. You have Xander Cobb at the plate now. And, you can't necessarily worry about, what happened, on that last pitch. You got to get this next batter right here. It all starts right here with pitch number 1. And that will miss low, and I'm assuming inside. So 1-0 the count to Xander Cobb. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 offering. Fly ball, shallow right field, and you want to talk about hitting them where they're not. Executed perfectly, and now, again, a bad throw right there as far as decision-wise. This probably just should have got that ball back into the infield. Instead, they'll switch places right here. Now it's still second and third, and it's now a 3-0 lead.
17, Hayden Zellers.
So again, Cobb advanced to second there on the throw.
Now running for Greenfield, number 10, Nick Flinch.
So Zellers will step in. Again, still a golden opportunity here for the Cougars. So Purdue back on the rubber. And still nobody out here in this top half of the third inning. Again, it's Purdue's job right here. Again, you've got to limit the damage here. I've already said that once. And believe me, it's a lot easier said than done. But you've got to do your best to get this batter right here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a strikeout. I mean, ideally, yeah, that would be nice. But a little pop up in the infield, we would take that too. So the count here at 1-1. Again, runners second and third. 3 have already scored here for Greenfield-Central. Here's the pitch. That's going to be up and out of the zone for ball 2. Yet again, not a bad pitch location right there. Change the eye level of the hitter here a little bit. See if he might expand that zone and try to swing at it. But now Purdue looks to go right back to work. The 2-1 catches the corner, called strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Zellers, with Hayden Kidd waiting patiently on deck. And time has been taken by Zellers. That's going to get by the catcher, and they're going to have a play down at second base, and it's going to be, oh, wow, not in time. So full count here on Zellers. The pitch gets him swinging for strike 3. They got a very, very big out right there for the Raiders in Case and Purdue.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 27, Hayden Kidd.
So with 1 down now in the inning, that's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 27, Hayden Kidd. Again, 0 for 1 on the night so far. Struck out swinging back in the second inning. That'd be nice if he can do that again right here. The pitch. A little nub shot out to second. James will collect, throw on the first. That will score another run. But again, the Raiders will trade a run, or trade it out for a run right here. So make that a 4-0 ball game. Now 2 out here in the inning.
Now batting the third baseman, number 25, Ethan Ortwine.
So Ethan Ortwine will step in. 0 for 1 on the night as well. Struck out swinging there in the second inning. The pitch in there for a called strike. 0-1. That will just miss outside. So an even count, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 out. Runner at third. Again, 4 have scored here in the visiting half of the third. And he had a 2 RBI double from Brady Johnson. Then another hit there from Cobb, and then the sacrifice RBI ground out there by Kidd just a few moments ago. So an even count. Again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Purdue will come to the set. And the pitch. That's upstairs for ball 3. So the count's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch gets him looking for strike 3. He gone. So that will be the third and final out here in the inning, but Greenfield-Central gets on the board here in this top half of the third. Again, plating 4 runs here in the inning, lead at 4-0 after 2.5. We'll step aside and we'll be back here with more Raider baseball here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Anna, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
All right, folks, again back at it here. Bottom half of the third inning here, again with our next Home Elite inning break. Again, we'll lead things off here with the number 9 hitter in the order here for the Raiders. And that is Grayson Acosta. Following him, we'll be right back to the top of the order there with Nate Luce and Hayden James. So the Raiders here with some work to do. Down 4-0. It's not the end of the world. It is what it is. You just got to get back at it right here. We've got to wake the bats up, though. The first 2 innings, we've had guys on base, and what have we done? Well, we've left them out there. You can't afford to do that. Not every inning is going to be, sunshine and rainbows and daisies and all this other stuff. You're not going to score everybody that gets on base. I know that, but you want to find that level of consistency where, you're having traffic on the base pass, and not only that, but you're getting guys in. And the old adage of get them on, get them over, get them in. The third down to first will be in time there, so 6-3 put away there for out number 1 there on Acosta.
The shortstop, number 7, Nate Luce.
So 1 down now with a Raider shortstop, number 7, Nate Luce stepping in. Again, he struck out swinging back there in the first inning to lead off the ball game. So he's looking to change his fortunes this time around and find his way aboard to get the Raiders going here offensively. Again, a little bit of a half check swing right there from Nate. So 0-1 the count. Miller trying to find his groove right here. Again, not that he's been in any kind of big-time trouble by any means, but, a couple little hiccups here or there, getting behind hitters. But, those last 3 batters there in the second inning quickly, essentially mowed right through them and already took care of Acosta rather easily as well. So 2-1 the count here on Nate. Miller gets the signs and the pitch. That's going to be low for ball 3. So, again, a great position to be in right here if you're Nate. But, again, you're looking for that one spot right here. If he throws it in that one spot, then you're putting a charge into it. Ground ball here to the third base side. He'll throw down to first. That will be in time. 5-3 put away there for out number 2, the official scoring ruling there for there.
Second baseman, number 4, Hayden James.
So 2 up and 2 down to begin the home half third. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, number 4, Hayden James. Again, he's been the lone hit so far for the Raiders. Had that 1-out double there in the first inning, and then was left stranded out there. So we'll see if the Raiders have a little 2-out magic here in the home half third. Miller gets signs, the pitch. That's going to fall low and away for ball 1. The 1-0 offering fouled back to the backstop. So an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike here on the Raiders' second baseman with Quentin James on deck. And the Raiders do have somebody warming down in the bullpen. The 1-1. That's going to miss high near the dome for ball 2. Miller looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. And a fly ball there in the center field. Center fielder again kind of took a couple steps forward, then a few steps back and made the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So the Raiders go quietly here in the home half the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left as we will head to the top of the fourth inning. Again, it's Greenfield-Central 4, Wapahani 0 here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Hi, I'm Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Our company's mantra has been and will always be humans over houses. For the last several years, we have been able to help people follow our mission statement, which is enriching lives by helping people find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate has premier real estate agents ready to assist you with commercial properties, new construction, residential homes, or investment properties, no matter if you are looking to purchase or to sell. We are skilled negotiators, tenacious marketers, and fearless advocates for our clients. We want them to feel the passion we have for what we do and the professionalism we exemplify while we do it. Our clients depend on us to have grit and determination when we represent them. We roll up our sleeves and get to work. Every interaction, every time.
Hi, I'm Tara. Hi, I'm Michelle. Hi, I'm Kathy.
Hi, I'm Seth.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. Hi, I'm Courtney.
We stand for doing the right thing, even when it's not convenient. We deliver integrity in all we do through our uncompromising ethical principles and values. Our clients count on us not to only help them buy or sell their home, but to make sure the process is infused with joy. We strive to bring a smile to their faces as they enter the next phase of their lives. Call Next Home Elite Real Estate today. We are here to help you.
All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. We've got your Liberty Prairie Alumni Association call to the bullpen here for the Raiders, as we have Brent Longfellow now towing the rubber here for the Raiders, coming on in relief there for Kaysen Purdue. So, again, Kaysen went 3 strong innings, gave up 4 runs, just had that one bad inning, but, still, it's the first game. It is what it is. You learn from it, you get better. I wouldn't say that he had a bad outing by any means. Just a couple of things that just went sideways for him, and he'll be better for it next time out. But nonetheless, Brent Longfellow now on in relief here for the Raiders. Again, we're going to lead off this top the 4th inning here with shortstop number 14, Gavin Marcus, as it's quickly 0-2 here on Marcus. But again, the defensive changes then around that. So again, Longfellow now on the mound. Hayden James moved from second base to third base. Noah Henderson is now playing second base as Marcus will go down swinging. So he gone for out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting the first baseman.
And that will now bring to the plate the first baseman, number 32, Cooper Safford. But nonetheless, yes, Noah Henderson out at second base, and then Kaysen Purdue has moved from the pitcher's mound out to right field, so that means Grayson Acosta is now out of the ball game. So Noah Henderson will now hit in Grayson's spot there in the number 9 position there in the order. So 1-0 the counts here on Safford. The pitch. Rifle down the first baseline, foul. So an even count here of 1-1. Again, if you remember correctly, Purdue had Safford essentially right where you wanted him right here. I mean, it was a good count, but Safford, really made Purdue work there in that top of the 3rd inning, and then ended up getting a favorable double to lead off the inning, and then that was obviously the start of just some misfortunes there for Purdue and the Raiders there in the top half of the 3rd inning. But again, still a very manageable ball game right here. But again, you got to continue to throw strikes and find a way to get some outs, and that will be laced there in the right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. So Purdue will get it back in quickly, but that will be a 1-out double here from Cooper Safford. Tell you what, pretty nice swing from a number 8 hitter in the order. My goodness. So he's down at second base already. There's Safford. It's already 2 doubles now and 2 at-bats there for the young man. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, number 15, Jacob Welch, for the Greenfield-Central Cougars. Again, the Raiders have surrendered 5 hits here on the evening. So wild pitch right there will advance to the man on the third base. So 1-0 the count. So again, a mound visit here between pitcher and catcher. Longfellow there and Quentin James. And while we got a minute right here, we would like to thank some more of our sponsors here this evening. A big thanks to East Jackson Auto Sales, owned by Todd Clark, and his family-ran dealership has been going strong since 1977, and they're known for their honesty and quality pre-owned vehicles. I'll leave you driving home with a smile on your face and a nice vehicle you can rely on. Give them a call, 765-356-1340. 1-0 count, the pitch upstairs for ball two. Two and 0 again. Here's the Raiders infield playing in. And that's a deep, high fly ball in the left field. That's going to get way foul. But that was a mammoth shot there by Welch. That really made Redbeard work for his pay here tonight. Try to track that ball down. So again, 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Welch, the number 9 hitter in the order, but this is where all the havoc has been wreaked here by Greenfield-Central, as Longfellow will get him swinging there for strike 2. So again, here if you're Brant Longfellow, as I've mentioned a couple different times, you want to expand the strike zone right here. You want this to be your pitch. You don't want to feed right into his hands. So you don't want to leave anything out over the plate. 2-2, the pitch. Oh, yes. And that's going to miss. So that will run the count to full, 3-2. In the infield, still playing in. The payoff pitch. Goodbye. The throw down to first will be in time. The throw to home will be in time, and he is toast. Yes! A double play right there. Strikeout, throw down to first, back to home. So essentially you can just put that down as 2 to 3, back to 2, double play. Gotta love it. End of the inning right here. As, again, a one-out double there from Safford. Nothing will come of it here in the visiting half of the fourth. 4-0 at the end of 3.5. We'll be back here with your baseball action here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, welcome back here, folks. In the home half, the fourth inning, get here from beautiful Coach Brian J. Dudley Field as we will open up this bottom half of the fourth inning. Here with the leadoff man, the catcher, number 5, Quentin James. Again, the Raiders looking to jumpstart this offense right here. Again, it's been a little bit of a struggle. That we did have a couple of base runners the first 2 innings, but nothing there in the bottom half, the third. The 1-1. That's going to be in there for a called strike. So the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, shorten up, put ball in play somewhere. Here we go. And a deep fly ball center field. That might get over the head, and it will. Right there at the base of the wall. James will slide into second safely with a leadoff double. Oh, heck yes. So hopefully that will inspire the rest of the Raiders here in this inning. So a fine piece of hitting there by Quentin. And that will bring up the first baseman, number 15, Clay Estep. Again, you got a duck right out there on the pond. Let's just go ahead and bring him on home. So he steps in there at home plate. Miller gathers himself and steps back on the rubber. And James with pretty good speed out there at second base. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a called strike. So 0-1 the counts here on Estep with Case and Purdue waiting on deck. The pitch by Miller. Swung on and missed strike 2. So again, 0-2 here on Clay. Again, 0 for 1 here on the evening so far. Popped out there to the catcher in the first inning. That pitch low and away. The throw down to third, and James is gunned down. So that's tough. 1 ball, 2 strikes now with 1 out. And again, that was one thing that I talked about there in our pregame show. You can't run into outs. It happens. It's baseball. You're going to make mistakes sometimes. And are they saying that hit Estep? Okay, we'll take it. So he's on down at first base. I thought that actually blew right past his back, but that works for me. Okay, so Estep down at first base after being hit by the pitch. Purdue at the plate, the pitch. And that's going to be shot there in the left center field. Nice piece of hitting there from Purdue. And so I'll tell you what, that really makes that caught stealing right there even worse. And I'm not trying to down Quentin by any means. Again, believe me, it's a lot easier said than done. And I get that completely because I played it. But, in hindsight, obviously now, you could potentially have a run in, maybe even, bases loaded with nobody out. But, it is what it is. Now, in the present situation, the Raiders still have a great opportunity right here. You got a good opportunity to put a run up on the board or runs up on the board right here. So again, East step down at second, Purdue at first. And there it's right there in the right field there from Zitgraff. Oh, okay, so East step's going to be held at third, which was a darn good idea because he would have been toast as well. So that's going to now load the bases. So 3 hits here in the inning for Wapahani.
Now batting the left fielder, number 20.
Again, East step at third. We've got Purdue at second. Zitgraff at first. And the left fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews at the plate. I'll tell you what, the White River's really up here in right field. Could we see a big-time splash? That would be nice. I would just take a hit right here if you're the Raiders. Got to find a way to get a run in right here at minimum. The pitch. That's going to be low and inside, ball one. Got an update there from the softball field. Wapahani now down 19-0 going into the bottom of the fourth inning. Swung on and missed. Even the count up here at a ball and a strike. So 1-1. Again, the sun's shining on the Raiders. Hopefully we can come through in big-time clutch situation right here. The pitch. That's going to get by the catcher, and Estep will be in there safely. So the wild pitch will get the Raiders on the board here for the first time this evening. And that moves both of the other runners up another 90 feet as well. So again, 2 balls, 1 strike to Andrews. The pitch from Miller. And that's going to be laced into left field. There's 1 run. Zitgraff will be stopped at third, and then Andrews will take his way at second base. How about that? An RBI single here from Eli Andrews to make this now a 4-2 ball game. The 4th hit of the inning now for Wapahani. As the bats have come alive here for the Raiders, we'll have a mound visit and a pitching change here for Greenfield-Central. 4-2, 1 out, 2 on here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. All right, folks, welcome back. Right here again, the new pitcher on the mound here for Greenfield-Central. Again, that would be number 7, Carter Ellis. And now towing the rubber. So 1-0 the count here on Brant Longfellow. The pitch, inside, ball 2. The Raiders, as far as batting wise, were asleep the first 3 innings. We did have a couple base runners, but nice to see us kind of come alive right here. Bouncer to third base. The throw home will be in time to get Zitgraff at home. So 2 down now in the inning. Again, 5-2 will be the official ruling on that one.
Noah Henderson.
So again, you still have Andrews at second base, Longfellow at first, Noah Henderson at the plate, getting his first at bat here of the ball game. So 0-1 the count. And Henderson here with a good opportunity. Again, you have Andrews out there in scoring position. Guy with some darn good speed. Much the same there from Longfellow. So, we just got to find a way to put the ball in play. Good things can happen when you put the ball in play, and we've seen that here in this inning. The Raiders have put together 4 hits here in this inning, couple of runs. Ground ball here to the shortstop. The throw on to first will just barely get Henderson. So a 6-3 put away there for out number 3 will do it here for the Raiders here in the bottom half of the fourth. But, good inning right here for the Raiders. You score a couple of times. Again, 2 runs here on 4 hits, also no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll head here to the top of the 5th. 4-2, Greenfield-Central here at the end of 4. All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. We'd like to take some time here between innings to thank some of our sponsors again here this evening. A big thanks here to Air Park Door, located at 321 West Ontario Drive in Muncie, Indiana. Air Park Door has been voted as Muncie's quest for the best for the level of professionalism and knowledge they possess and the quality service they provide for a reasonable price. Give them a call and check them out on Facebook at Air Park Door. You can contact them at 765-741-3667 for all of your garage door needs. Also, a big thanks again here to Alfred Rods and Customs with over 30 years of experience. They sell the baddest hot rods, street rods, muscle cars, and customs in the land. They also buy, sell, and trade cars all over the country. For more information, call them at 765-717-3625 and look them up on Facebook at Alfred Rods and Customs, and come check out their showroom at 613 East Weiser Street in Muncie, Indiana, and let them make your dream a reality. So big thanks here again to Air Park Door as well as Alfred Rods and Customs for their proud sponsorship of us here on the WHS Network. So 0-1 the count to begin things here on, it's the leadoff man. That's number 9, Dylan Luther. Again, he's 1 for 2 here on the night. Or pardon me, actually 0 for 1 here on the evening. So 1-1 now the count. But again, struck out looking back in the first inning and then drew a walk and scored a run in the third. Popped up, foul ground on the right field side and out of play. So the count now stands at 1-2 strikes. Again, a little bit more manageable of a game now for Wapahani. Not that it was out of reach by any means. He was only down 4-0. But, being down by anything is obviously a challenge. But now, cutting that lead in half. It's going to be big time right here, though, for Brant, Longfellow, and the Raiders to have a nice, quick inning of work right here. Get right back in there to hopefully bring those bats to life once again here in the bottom half of this fifth inning. So the 2-2 offering from Longfellow upstairs for ball 3. Longfellow will get his signs, the windup, the payoff pitch. Ground ball, first base side, E-step on the Longfellow. Will get him. Nicely done right there. Again, the old PFP's pitcher fielding practice. Beautifully executed there between E-step and Longfellow. Again, can't express enough, really, in all honesty, how difficult that is. Because, you're trying to make the play there as a first baseman, but you got to make a good throw. And then from a pitching standpoint, to get over there quickly is extremely important. But to catch and then touch the base, kind of like, literally all in one motion, another difficult a difficult play to make right there. So a job well done by both young men, as that's going to be pop fly there in the left field. Andrews is there and will make the catch for out number 2 here in the inning. So you can just put that down as F7 if you guys are doing a scorebook at home, which that's what I'm doing. That's how I keep track of everything. So now with 2 down here in the inning, that's going to bring up the catcher, number 2, Xander Cobb. Again, Cobb here on the evening so far, 1 for 2. The pitch, found back and out of play, 0-1. Cobb there in the second inning, in the first inning, popped out to the second baseman to end the inning, and then singled in the third and was left stranded out there. So again, 0-1 the count. Longfellow looks in there to James, gets the signs, the pitch, ground ball second base side. James on the first. Exactly what the Raiders needed right there. Nice clean inning of work there from Brant Longfellow. Down go the Cougars in order. 3 up, 3 down, as they will get no runs on no hits, also no errors, and nobody left on. We will head here to the bottom half of the 5th. Greenfield-Central 4, Wapahani 2, here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, again, welcome back here with our next Home Elite Real Estate inning break here as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Again, Greenfield-Central here with a 4-2 lead as we head here to the home half of the 5th. Again, the Raiders will begin this inning with the top of the order due up. Nate Luce, Hayden James, Quentin James. So looking to tack on some more runs right here and hopefully even it up and exceed that total right now of a 4-2 lead here for Greenfield-Central, and hopefully flip the script here a little bit if you're Wapahani. So 1-0 on the Raiders shortstop. Make that 2-0. And it really hasn't been all that sunny majority of the day. I mean, there's been different parts throughout the day it has been, but not consistently. But I tell you what, Nate Lucier is shining right there as he will make that turn right there at first base, head on the second, and that's going to be a leadoff double. How about that? Yes. So a leadoff double here from Nate Luce, 6th hit of the night now for Wapahani. And 5 of those have come here within the last inning and some change. So Hayden James will now step in with a leadoff runner out there at second. But as I was just saying, though, the sun kind of shining here now. The Raiders starting to let their presence be known here this evening as well. And like I said, just a great day to be at the ballpark. We've had some rainouts, and it's just nice to be back out here. Our first broadcast of the year will hopefully be a lot throughout the course of the season, and so exciting times right here as the Raiders look to have a little comeback right here, and hopefully can find a way to get the W as James will wear one there on the backside. So he will make his way down to first base after being hit by a pitch. And so the Raiders will now have runners at first and second to begin the inning, and Quentin James will step in here in just a moment as we'll have a mound meeting here between a couple of young men. But Quentin James had that fly ball that hit the bottom of the wall there in center field. Tell you what, if he can find a way to put another charge into one, that's going to really shake things up here this evening. Again, another softball update. This is probably going to be the last one we make until the end of it, which will actually be the end is near. Unfortunately, Northeastern here with a 22-1 lead over Wapahani going into the bottom half of the 5th inning. So, again, we'll give you the final score after the conclusion of that one here tonight. But, again, tough one so far here for the Lady Raiders. But, again, it's opening night. No reason to panic. You hate that, kind of started off like this, but, it is what it is. You got to get back at it next time out, and hopefully we can get you a W. That ball low and away there for ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. A nice job there by Cobb smothering that pitch and really not allowing that to get too far away because, again, you've got Nate and Hayden out there with, guys with, again, some good speed. And that was another thing I talked about there in our pregame show. We've got some guys out here that can really run. I'm not saying that, we've got Usain Bolt speed out here, but, you've got some guys that can steal some bases, but, not only that, just have a great IQ level that run the bases well that I think can really be a key attribute here in the for the team throughout the course of the season here. But James will go down swinging this time around. So James with the strike count for out number 1. That's going to bring up the Raiders' first baseman, Clay Eastep. And, you got the first 2 guys on right here. You've got to find a way to cash in and at minimum get one of these guys in. The pitch in there for a called strike, 0-1. The 0-1, that's going to be low and away for ball 1. And Eastep here on the day, so far is 0 for 1. He popped out to the catcher in the first inning and then was hit by a pitch and later on scored a run after the wild pitch there from the pitcher there in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch, that's going to fall low for ball 2. Again, Carter Ellis here so far has pitched an inning. Came on in relief there in the bottom half of the 4th. Looking to shut things down, but the Raiders looking for something else here. Here's the pitch. And that's going to catch the outside corner. Strike 2. Here's the 2-2. That's skipped in the dirt to the plate. And so that's going to run the count to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here on the Raider first baseman. I would highly doubt that he will put the runners in motion right now. Now, obviously, if it was 2 out, then yes. But with it being only 1 out, I would highly doubt that head coach Heath Dudley will have him in motion right here. And the pitch, that's going to be ball 4. Nicely done. So a 1-out walk will load the bases here for the Raiders. Great at bat there from Clay Eastep. So Nate Lewis down at third, Hayden James at second, and Clay Eastep at first with the right fielder number 10, Kaysen Purdue, at the plate. Again, Kaysen had a single there in the 4th inning and then scored a run. Ellis will come to the set. Here's a pitch. And swung on and missed strike 1. That pitch low and outside. So an even count of a ball and a strike here on Purdue. Again, nowhere to put him right here. Lewis at third, James at second, Eastep at first. Again, Purdue at the plate with Zitgraff waiting on deck. The pitch. And the field umpire says that he went around. So strike 2 called. So again, here if you're Purdue, just shorten up, put a ball in place somewhere. Find some open real estate out there. There's plenty of it. The 1-2. He didn't go for it. Ball low and inside. So an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Fly ball, and it's going to get out of play down the third base side. Again, you have your corner infielders playing in on the infield grass. Again, looking for that ground ball and then the play at home. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gets him swinging for strike 3. So now 2 down here in the inning.
Now batting the center fielder, number 3, Brock Zitgraff.
And that's going to bring up the center fielder, number 3, Brock Zitgraff. Zitgraff singled there in the 4th inning. It was left stranded out there. So the senior center fielder looking to come up big time here for his team. Again, looking to find a way to get on base. Here's the pitch. That's going to catch the outside corner, 0-1. And, you have a pitch right there, again, catching that outside part of the plate. No reason to try to do too much. Just shoot it that way. If that goes back outside again. Laced into left field. That's going to get down. 1 run scores. James around third, and he will score. And there's Brock Zitgraff. Oh, heck yes. A 2 ribeye steak double, baby. Yes. And that's going to tie things up at 4 with still runners in scoring position with still 2 away here in the inning. But a fine piece of hitting there from Brock Zitgraff. Again, serving that one into left field. So again, the single right there, then advanced on the throw home.
Number 20, Eli Andrews.
So again, Lewis scored and Hayden James. We'll have the left fielder, number 20, Eli Andrews, now stepping in. Going to E-step at third, Zitgraff at second. 2 out, 2 on, tie ball game here at Brian J. Dudley Field. The pitch to Andrews. That's going to, oh, 'oh, oh, 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 oh,
2 out, 2 on, tie ball game here at Brian J. Dudley Field. The pitch to Andrews. That's going to, oh my goodness. Okay, that's going to catch you outside corner. 0-1.
The 0-1. Deep fly ball, right center field, and gone! Eli Andrews with a big fly from the big guy. A 3-run shot, and that will put the Raiders on top 7-4. Oh, heck yes. And, well, his teammates greet him at home plate. What a big-time splash there from Eli Andrews. So 7-4 after the 3-run shot. Again, all 7 runs have come here within the last 2 innings. So again, some 2-out magic. Again, back-to-back hits. The one then from Zitgraf. They're serving that one in the left field, tied the game. And then Andrews with one mighty swing of the bat. There with a 3-run shot to right center. Man, that is big time there for that young man and big time for this team, more importantly. The pitch. In there for a called strike here on Longfellow. So 1-1 the count. Longfellow waits the pitch. Ground ball. That's going to get through into center field. So another hit for the Raiders. And the shortstop looked like he rolled his wrist right there. And so he's down on the field. So we will have a runner at first. Again, 7-4 is your score. We will step aside here for a quick break. And we'll be back right after these messages.
Hi, this is Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Next Home is a real estate company that prioritizes community involvement, and we have a humans over houses philosophy. We specialize in both property listings and buyer representation, ensuring top-notch service with top producing agents. Our mission is, and has always been, to enrich people's lives by helping them find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate consistently maintains open communication, and we...
All right, folks, so we had to cut the commercial break short because they, again, they tended to the injured player out there, end up being okay, which that's great news. You don't want to see anybody ever get hurt. But Noah Henderson here at the plate, he will pop it up, foul ground, and that's going to get out of play. Nice camera work there from Redbeard. So nothing and won the counts here on Noah Henderson. And he grounded out to the shortstop back in the 4th inning. What a big inning this has been here from Wapahani in the last couple of innings. And there for a called strike now, 0-2. But again, 2 runs scored there in the bottom half of the third. And you had the 2 RBI single there from Zitgraf, tied it up, and then the 3-run homer from Eli Andrews to put the Raiders over the top right here and lead things here 7-4. So Henderson again fighting right here in this at bat. Again, still down 0-2. Here's the pitch. That's going to fall low for ball 1. Nice pair of eyes there from Henderson. And that's going to get him looking there for strike 3 to end the inning. But what a great inning it was here for the Raiders, tacking on 5 runs to take a 7-4 lead at the end of 5. We'll step aside and we'll be back here with your top of the 6th inning coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, again, welcome back here. Top half of the 6th inning, again here from beautiful Brian J. Dudley Field here on the WHS Network. Again, we're going to lead things off here with his top half of the 6th inning with the right fielder, number 17, Hayden Zellers. 1-0 is the count to begin things. And a pitch here from Longfellow. That's going to miss for ball 2. Fly ball down the left field line, and that will get foul and out of play. So run the count here to 2 balls and 1 strike. So again, 2-1 the count. Longfellow with a windup and a pitch. Deep fly ball right field and off the wall. So that will be a leadoff double here for one Hayden Zellers for Greenfield-Central. So Zellers at second. And that will bring up the designated hitter, number 27, Hayden Kidd. So Kidd will step in, again with already man in scoring position here for Greenfield-Central. Get on the day so far, Kidd 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in the second, then grounded out to the second baseman back in the third. The pitch from Longfellow will miss upstairs there for ball 1. So Kidd back in there. Longfellow back on the rubber. 1-0 the count. Gonzalez at second. With nobody out here in the top of the sixth. The pitch. In there for a called strike. A dandy right there from Longfellow. So an even count here of 1-1. Again, the third baseman playing back. Middle infielders again playing there in double play, or not in double play depth, but keeping right there to keep the runner close to second base as that pitch fouled back and out of play. So the count here at 1-2 strikes. Okay, so again here, Longfellow, strikeout would be nice right here, but you'll take it out, any way you can get it right here. So we'll take a long look in there to James. See if we can get the signs right here. He'll get those. As Longfellow will come to the set, and a 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. That's going to get by Nate Luce there in the left field. Eli Andrews will throw it on home. That will not be in time, and so a run comes on home to make this now a 7-5 ball game. So seventh hit of the evening here for Greenfield-Central. So a pinch hitter here for Greenfield-Central, and that will be number 11. That is Maddox Luger. So he will be hitting for the third baseman, Ethan Ortwine. Okay, so again, had to write that down in the scorebook here, but again, we'll have runner over there at first base. Again, that's Kidd. And then Luger will step in at home plate here in just a moment. We'll have now a courtesy runner. That is number 3, Gage Handlin.
Now running for the Greenfield, number 3, Gage Handlin.
So again, 7-5 ball game. Again, a leadoff double there from Zellers, put him in scoring position. Then Kidd was able to get one past Nate Luce there and serve that one in the left field. So the RBI single then from Kidd made this now a 7-5 ball game. As number 11, and that is Maddox Luger stepping into the plate here for his first plate appearance here of the night. Longfellow looking to roll up a twin killing right here. That would be nice. So that pitch upstairs there for ball 1. And you want to work your way down right here. See if you can find that ground ball out. Longfellow looks, glances over there at first base. He'll come to the set. Throw over there, not in time, as number 3, Handlin, will get back in there safely. Got a cold evening here at the ballpark. Everybody bundled up here tonight while we sit up here in a somewhat cold press box, but better than, I guess, being outside with the wind blowing, as that pitch will sail upstairs there for ball 2. So again, 2-0 the count here on Luger. Longfellow once again comes to the set here, 2-0 the count. The pitch foul tipped right into the catcher's glove there of Hayden James. So 2 balls and 1 strike Nobody out, one on here to top the sixth. Again, one run's already come on home to score. But the Raiders are trying to limit it to just that here in this inning. Pitch low, and that's going to get a little bit by James. That throw will not be in time. So a wild pitch will now advance him to second base. 3-1. Now the count here on Maddox Luger. So again, he's got a great opportunity right here and a favorable count to hit in. Again, Longfellow's really got to bear down right here, find a way to get it out. And that pitch will be upstairs there for ball 4, so a walk. Again, I guess it could be worse. At least, you do have the double play still in order right here. But a walk right here again with runners now at first and second. And we'll have a mound meeting right here between head coach Heath Dudley and Brent Longfellow. So we'll have a pitching change. It looks like Grayson Acosta will re-enter the ball game and will be on the mound. That's going to be a little bit of a different look here for Greenfield-Central. This time coming from the left side on the mound. So Grayson Acosta is the newest pitcher to come in. And here with our East Jackson Auto Sales call to the bullpen. 7-5, Wapahani 2 on, and nobody out here in the top half of the sixth. We'll be back following the pitching change here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Hi, this is Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Next Home is a real estate company that prioritizes community involvement, and we have a humans over houses philosophy. We specialize in both property listings and buyer representation, ensuring top-notch service with top-producing agents. Our mission is, and has always been, to enrich people's lives by helping them find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate consistently maintains open communication, and we build trust through honesty and integrity. Whether you're listing $1 million property in a gated community, or you are a first-time home buyer just starting the process, at Next Home Elite Real Estate, our agents are committed to providing exceptional service and expertise. We actively participate and invest in local events, local sponsorships, charities, and initiatives to strengthen community bonds. Our agents love being a corporate sponsor to Ball State University, and when you choose Next Home Elite Real Estate, you never know who you're going to run into.
After working with Next Home Elite Real Estate, I knew that I would be choosing them for future transactions simply because they communicated.
All right, folks, again, we had to cut the commercial break short. So, again, Grayson Acosta, the new man on the mound here for the Raiders, coming in on in relief there, Brent Longfellow, and I'm not so sure that ball did not get fouled off the bat. I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, I don't even know what the official call was on that. So I'm assuming it's just going to be a wild pitch. I don't know if he ended up, at least as of right now, it doesn't look like that they said that he offered at it. So runners will be at second and third, and 1-0 the count here on Gavin Marcus. So 2-0 the count. Again, wild pitches have kind of hurt the Raiders here a little bit. And Handlin advanced from first to second on a wild pitch. Then he had to walk, and now another wild pitch. Next thing you know, you're staring at two guys in scoring position, and now a 2-0 count here on Gavin Marcus. Not exactly the ideal situation, but again, from a pitching standpoint, we've got to be able to throw strikes. And unfortunately, Acosta has fallen into a little bit of a hole here now, 3-0 the count. Of course, you don't want to necessarily groove one right down Broadway, but, see if we can find a way to hit one of the corners right here and pick up a good strike. And it will not. So that will miss the plate. Ball 4. And here we go again. Gotta love it. Opening night pressure here for both of these teams so far this evening. So Marcus down at first. Again, Luger at second. And then we have Handlin at third base. And now the first baseman, Cooper Safford, at the plate, which is not who you'd want to see in this situation. He's had a couple of doubles here on the day and runs scored. So 1-0 the count. Costa gets the signs here from James. He'll come to the set. The pitch in there for a called strike. One ball, one strike. The pitch from Acosta. That's way high for ball 2. You got nowhere to put him right here. 2-1 the count. Strikeout would be very beneficial right here. But again, you've got to find a way to get it out nonetheless. But again, we've got to throw strikes. And so far, Costa's had a little bit of trouble doing that. Here are these first two batters. So 3-1. Great count to hit in right here if you're Safford. The 3-1 offering. That's going to be a high fly ball down the right field line and hooking and foul just barely by about maybe 5 feet. So 3-2 the count. Full here on Safford. I tell you what, I'll throw him a little curveball action right here. See if we can swing at one and possibly chase it. If Acosta can throw one for a strike here. Instead, he'll go back to the fastball. And so time called here by Safford. So kind of regroup. Get back in here, and then again, Acosta a strike away, from getting this first out. It's going to be a very big out right here if he can get it. He'll come to the set, and the payoff pitch. Fly ball there in the center field, and misstep there by Zickgraf. That's going to go over his head. 1 run scores, 2 runs scores, and now 3 runs will score, as that's going to be a 3 RBI double. 3 for 3 day here for one Cooper Safford, hitting in the number 8 spot of the order. I mean, heck, he's had more production than all the other guys combined so far here this evening, it seems like. I mean, this young man has literally teed off here on the Raiders.
Now batting the left fielder, number 15, Jacob Welch.
So again, 2 runs scored. Fly ball deep left field. That hits off the very top of the wall. 1 run will score. Safford on his way home. He will score. There's nobody at third base. Holy Moses. So what was a 7-4 Wapahani lead has now turned into a 9-7 Greenfield-Central lead. So again, we'll see if we have a pitching change right here or not, or if they'll stay with Acosta. But again, we'll take a brief pause in the action. All right, here, folks. So, again, still nobody out here in the inning. Again, 5 runs have come on home to scores. That one's in there for a called strike, 0-1. Here on the leadoff man, number 9, Dylan Luther. Oh, 1 pitch. Misses upstairs and away there for ball 1. One pitch, and that's going to be shot out there in the center field. Another run will come on home to score. So make this now a 10-7 lead. And they have scored 6 runs and still nobody out.
Batting the second baseman, number 4, Brady Johnson.
So again, the RBI single there for Dylan Luther. He's down at first. Brady Johnson now to plate. Costa will come to the set. And a pitch. Bunted foul by Johnson, 0-1. Costa will come to the set. Here and the pitch or the pick off back over there at first base and there safely. Again, 0-1 on Johnson. And a throw down to second will be in time. So he will be toast. So that will be a 1-3, then on to 6. Pick off right there for out number 1. Take him any way we can get him. That's for darn sure. So again, 1 down now. Now that's going to sail high there for ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And Johnson steps in here. Been on base once so far this evening. Now 2-1. Two-one pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 2. So again, now 2-2 the count. Acosta looking for the second out of the inning right here. The pitch, that's going to miss low and inside. So the count be ran to full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, unfortunately, here from Wapahani, they've seen 6 guys come on home to score here for Greenfield-Central here in the top half of this 6th inning. And now a 1-out walk. So Johnson will make his way down to first, and that looks to be the end of the road here for Grayson Acosta potentially. And indeed it will be. So we'll take another brief pause in the action. Again, here with our East Jackson Auto Sales call to the bullpen. 10-7, Greenfield-Central leads it. 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
Hi, this is Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Next Home is a real estate company that prioritizes community involvement, and we have a humans over houses philosophy. We specialize in both property listings and buyer representation, ensuring top-notch service with top producing agents. Our mission is, and has always been, to enrich people's lives by helping them find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate consistently maintains open communication, and we build trust through honesty and integrity. Whether you're listing $1 million property in a gated community, or you are a first-time home buyer just starting the process, at Next Home Elite Real Estate, our agents are committed to providing exceptional service and expertise. We actively participate and invest in local events, local sponsorships, charities, and initiatives to strengthen community bonds. Our agents love being a corporate sponsor to Ball State University, and when you choose Next Home Elite Real Estate, you never know who you're going to run into.
After working with Next Home Elite Real Estate, I knew that I would be choosing them for future transactions simply because they communicated throughout the entire process. They were friendly and they were tenacious marketers working for me so I can achieve my goals.
Voted as the best real estate company in Muncie's quest for the best, I want you to know we are more than a real estate company. We're part of your community. We are creating lasting relationships and emphasizing the human element in every transaction.
All right, here, folks, we'll have to cut the commercial break short again. I tried for the third time, hoping it was going to be the charm there for Next Home Elite Real Estate, but that wasn't the case. And a bunt right there. That ends up being a bunt hit right there for Xander Cobb. So he'll be down at first with runners now at first and second. We've got the right fielder, number 17, Hayden Zellers, stepping in. And I'll tell you what, it's starting to get a little dark out here, Raider, at Brian J. Dudley Field, rather. We'll see if we can get this game in or not, or if we'll have to call it due to darkness. And that ball is off the glove of the third baseman. Another run's going to score. And, yeah, there's nobody on third base. Holy Moses. All right. Well, make it 11-7. And runner now at third base. Getting the error on the throw there from James. Okay, so again, want to know the count, the pitch. Outside and nothing going there. 2-0 the count. Again, on the mound here for the Raiders, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. It's number 9, Caleb Lewis. If I did mention it, well, there's another shout out again. So 2-0 the count, the pitch. Outside, ball 3. The pitch. Fly ball there in the right center field. Zickgraf chases after it. He'll make the catch. And the run does come on home to score. So a RBI sacrifice fly for out number 2 of the inning. and making this a 12-7 lead. So 8 runs have scored here in the top of the sixth here for Greenfield Central. So Hayden Kidd will step in here in just a moment, possibly. If not, maybe a pinch hitter. But we will see. And indeed, it will be a pinch hitter. And this will be number 3. That is Gage Handlin.
Now hitting number 3, Gage Handlin.
Ground ball here to the third base side, foul. And 2 out, nobody on. The pitch from Lewis. And that's going to be low for ball 1. So an even count of 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 out. Again, believe me, let me just tell you this, and I mentioned this just a few moments ago. It does seem a little bit darker out here than what it looks like on the screen. On the screen, it looks pretty light out, but when you're out here, it does look a little bit darker. So again, we'll see as time goes along right here. Again, how this is going to go. So that's going to be a ball 3. Or is it ball 2? I don't even know. That is ball 3. I was right. Okay. Three and 1. Lewis looking for the last out of the inning right here. The pitch to Handlin. That's in there for a called strike. Nice looking pitch there from Caleb Lewis. And a payoff pitch. And pull the chainsaw. He is gone on strikes with a third and final out of the inning. But, what a doozy of an inning right here for Wapahani. Greenfield-Central puts up 8 runs here in the top of the 6th to take a 12-7 lead. Stick around here with us. Bottom half of the 6th coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
All right, folks, again, welcome back. Here with the bottom half of the 6th inning here on the WHS Network. Want to know the count here on the Raiders. Shortstop number 7, Nate Luce. And that pitch outside there for ball 2. The pitch in there for a called strike now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, a new pitcher on the mound here for Greenfield-Central. That's number 23, Carson Richardson. So, again, he comes on in relief there, number 7, Carter Ellis. In there for called strike now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And rifle there in the right center field. The right fielder plays it perfectly. And that's going to be the first out there, the inning of the line out there to the right fielder.
Now batting the second baseman, number 4, Hayden James.
And now it's going to bring up the second baseman, number 4, Hayden James. Again, we're just kind of talking right here. I would say more than likely this will be the last inning of the ball game. Again, with it being so dark out here, I would be very surprised if we continued on, but you never know. I mean, even if the Raiders do tie it up, this game could end in a tie potentially. So we'll see what happens right here. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 1-2 the count. Richardson gets the signs. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low in the dirt there for ball 2. So James steps back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Raiders staring at a 5-run deficit, trying to get back into this one. And that pitch outside there for ball 3. Here's a payoff pitch. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 4, so a nice at bat there from Hayden James. As he will work a 1-out walk, and that's going to bring to the plate the catcher, number 5, Quentin James. That pitch outside for ball 1. Again, James so far here on the evening, 1 for 3. Grounded out to the second baseman in the first inning, doubled in the 4th, and then struck out there in the 5th. So again, the wild pitch advances James on the second. So very favorable hitters count right here, 2-0 the count. If he leaves it right over the heart of the plate, I look for Quentin James to do something special with it. And that's going to be low and away for ball 3. The 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Again, the Hayden James at second in scoring position. 3-1. And that's going to be a deep fly ball in the left center field, and gone! Quentin James with a big fly of his own, a 2-run shot. And that will get the Raiders a little bit closer now on the 2-run homer, making this now a 12-9 ball game. Again, Richardson left that one right over the heart of the plate, and Richardson disposed of it rather quickly. So a fine piece of hitting there from Quentin.
Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Clay.
So now the first baseman, number 15, Clay Estep, will step in. The pitch, right down Broadway there for strike 1. Fouled off. Now the count here at no balls and 2 strikes. So E-Step will get hit by the pitch. So he will make his way down to first. So that was a heck of an at bat right there, being down 0-2, and then ends up getting hit by the pitch. Keeps things alive here for the Raiders, and the line moving in the right direction as the right fielder, Kaysen Purdue, will now step in. So again, Purdue stepping in. Again, they're really delaying the game right here. I'll tell you that much, because again, it is it is really dark out here. I got to tell you, we do have a pinch runner, rather a courtesy runner. It's going to be number 17, Kendon Hill, will be the runner down there at first base, and in there for a called strike, 0-1 here on Kaysen Purdue. Richardson will come to the set. Here's the 0-1. In there for strike 2. Nothing in 2, and that's going to catch the outside corner. The throw down to first will not be in time. So again, Purdue will go down looking right there for the second out of the inning. So with 2 down, the center field, number 3, Brock Zitgraff. The last hope here for the Raiders to keep things going. Because yet again, I would honestly doubt it if we play past this half inning. But I've seen stranger things happen. You never know. Here's the 0-1. That's going to be low in the dirt. Hill will take off for second, and he will be in there safely. And more than likely at the conclusion here of this one, we will not have a Raiders Live post-game show, considering we're pushing the 8:30 hour. Late start time. Again, this game was originally scheduled for a 5:30 start time. We didn't get started till close to 6. So that obviously puts us in a bind, but Zitgraff will strike out swinging. And that looks to do it here tonight.
Final score this evening, Greenfield-Central.
So your final score here tonight, it will be Greenfield-Central 12, Wapahani 9. Again, the Raiders will start off their season 0-1 as Greenfield-Central will now improve to 1-1 on the season. Again, our next broadcast will be on Thursday night. We'll be making our way over to the softball field to broadcast some Wapahani Lady Raider softball. Again, they'll be taking on the Westdale Warriors at 5 p.m. The baseball team also plays that night at home against Westdale. But again, it makes it really bad because the baseball and softball team plays on the same nights at home, usually a good majority of the time. So then we've got to pick and choose, which, it's unfortunate for us, but we can't do anything about it. We've got to go with what the schedule says, and so, again, we'll kind of have to fluctuate back and forth. But, again, was out here with the baseball team here tonight. Then tomorrow night, or Thursday night, then we'll be over at over at the softball field as Wapahani will play Westdale. So, again, that will be coming up on Thursday night. We hope you guys tune in for some Lady Raider softball action. Again, Wapahani unfortunately fell tonight to Northeastern 22-4 to begin their season 0-1, but they'll look to get back at it again. You got to have a short memory and be ready to get back in. They have a very busy week this week, and so looking forward to Thursday night's matchup. Again, 5 p.m. start time. We'll have our Raiders night pregame around 4:45-ish. So expect that there on Thursday evening. Again, your final score here this evening, Greenfield-Central 12, Wapahani 9. Thank you all for tuning in. Until Thursday night, I'm Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy saying good night from Brian J. Dudley Field.